2 debut. We got some other nice surprises in here too. Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome agents, welcome to debut, the next evolution of M.A.S.K. And after the presentation, feel free to take photos of the product display area, share and tag, celebrate responsibly. And make sure to come up and ask me questions one-on-one. I'm here to ask just about everything I can. All right, so 40 years, we honored 4 decades of innovation, imagination, and mechanical mayhem with our 40-year line. So you can see it up here in all of its black and gold glory. Take a close look at some of the paint jobs on there, and they're not just black, but they've got like a metallic sheen that we improved from the factory. It's really exciting. Have a look up here, you can see them in person. They all come with little custom masks and that black and gold scheme. Before I jump into the presentation, I wanted to take a minute to just say thank you. Our line is designed with nostalgia, durability, play value in mind, and the mechanisms are as accurate to the 1980s engineering as we can get. As many of you know, we've had to actually rescan all of these vehicles from scratch. The original molds do not exist. So when we rebuild these things, it's a very arduous and complicated process. And I think one of the things that's really exciting, and the guy right next to me here, Mr. Ben Montano, is really responsible for a lot of this, because like, if you think about it, M.A.S.K is one of those brands that's so complicated that when I was at Hasbro, I was like, hey guys, you know, back 2015, we were working on Combiner Wars, and we were like, man, you know, there's another big anniversary coming up right now, M.A.S.K. Like, who loves M.A.S.K? And Hasbro's like, oh man, we're not gonna do M.A.S.K. We wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, but guess what? Loyal Subjects was able to do it, and the passion of Ben Montano here, if it wasn't for Ben getting that licensing deal done, and way to go, Ben. Going through all of the, you know, the regional things of making this an actual licensed brand, and the you know, the compliance and everything that goes along with it. It's a Herculean effort, and it takes an army. So thanks a lot. But most of all, thanks to all of you guys, because without the fans, this brand would not have the energy and lasting power that it does. But I know that there's been a lot of conversations online. I'm not mute to that point, but there's one thing I've learned, and to quote a famous smuggler, you know, I've been in the industry a long time, about 25 years. I've been from one end of the galaxy to the next, and I've seen a lot of strange stuff. But one of the things I've seen that's not so strange is fans, when they get angry online, it usually means that they really, really, really love the brand. They take it personally. And so it's super important that you listen. And so that's why I'm here today. I'm here to listen to you guys. And in a lot of ways, we're listening better now than ever before with me and the team. But it's because of you that keeps the mission alive. And without further ado, we're looking forward to show you the next wave. 4 icons return: the Hurricane, Gator, Stealth Submarine Cycle, and the Armored Assault Vehicle. Now you notice that the names have changed to protect the innocent. This had to do with, not by us, but Hasbro gave us, you know, names to use based on what was available. First up, we've got the Hurricane. We got some great images here to dictate what we're doing. I've been talking to some of you guys. The vehicles that we have on display are actually just vintage standby kind of things that are just placeholders. But we're taking our time really working on these things and making sure the detail is 100% right. I've had the privilege on this wave 2, we're working on it the entire time. When I came into wave 1, a lot of the stuff was already almost tooled, and then we're like trying to like figure things out. But this is exciting because we're having a chance to actually build it. I'm designing this stuff from the ground up, so it's a huge privilege. And you can see here that the exploded view of this thing is mega, mega complicated. And I put this in here to remind everybody, this thing is, I mean, in a room full of guys who know their stuff with toys, but the thing about M.A.S.K is I don't think there's ever, in toy history, ever been a brand that is mechanically complex with spring-loaded reveals. Maybe Starcom? Maybe any Starcom fans out there? Woohoo! Me too. You know, I was talking to the Benson, the RPM line, Transformers had some slow reveal stuff, but M.A.S.K and its pop-open reveal event, there's really nothing out there. That's what's really exciting about it. The colors and the details, you want to click to the next one? You'll see here on the Hurricane, the colors and details have been replicated, and in some cases upgraded, and I can talk to that in a minute. And last but not least, with every M.A.S.K vehicle, we are doing brand new figures. And here's Hondo McLean with his 2 masks. One of the things that's really important to point out with the figures is I'm starting to develop universal hip joints so that there's a more defined 90-degree seating post. I'm all about systems, and I want to try to make sure that there's systems that are applied across the board for Wave 2. You know, we're here, we're listening to feedback, we're growing, and one of those things has to do with sitting. Helmet fit, another thing, we're working on that too. All right, jumping right into the features, we're including some bonus weapons with the Hurricane, and these will be small weapons that can mount under the bumper. Those of you might recognize these from the EU exclusive Sea Attack set. These are the fog pitchers and the laser harpoon weapon. Next, I spoke to the enhanced paint. You can see small details like windshield wipers, all that sweet trim. Really, yeah, be a really cool cat daddy-o now to drive this guy around, because I tricked it out with all sorts of extra paint offs, which is going to be really exciting. And I also went in there with the detail. I know detail in a lot of cases is free. This thing's supposed to be a tank. So I made the bottom have a lot of extra armor, bulletproof effects. And then you'll notice here that the hardtop I've also made have a bulletproof look as well. Just because it never made sense to me, the Hondo's up there, you know, kind of like the Havoc in G.I. Joe. He was like on full display. He like was able to actually get protected. We're including labels to allow you to customize the rear tire and the hood detail. So if you want, we're going to have the loyal subjects in there, some other logos, you can customize your Hurricane. I'm including small details. You know, my old man was he was a car collector. He had a big collection of Barago cars, and he loved the way the clear headlights looked. And I think it's an important addition. So I included them into Wave 2, and it can be removed and replaced. So it's like if you don't want it, you want that vintage look, you can remove those and place the blast effects in it. As I mentioned in the beginning, the laser harpoon can be held by Hondo. This is showing how it attaches to his arm. And then there's also heavy-duty blast effects, and this is exciting. As you saw on the debut image, you can really trick this guy out so it looks just like the box. Next up, I heard something out there, but yeah, come up with that question later to me. We got the Gator, protect and rescue on land and sea, the vehicle mode, and the hydroplane attack mode. As you can see, this thing is really, really complicated. One of the most complicated things about this is the huge spring inside. So we're taking a look at that and making sure that it's going to function. It's an 80s mechanism. So it's like, you know, we're trying to replicate it perfectly, but one of those things is you know, perfection has a lot to do with understanding how this vintage line, which is arguably one of the most complicated spring-loaded toys ever created, functions and works and things like that. So we're gonna have an open dialogue with you guys to try to understand what those expectations are and make sure they align. I'm adding cool details like a clear windshield, which for a lot of toy lines, you're like, clear windshield, great, John, but this guy never had one, so it's important to like point out the fact that there's actually a clear windshield. Oh wait, we gotta go back. There's also some other small details on there too that I want to give credit for. Thanks, Ben. Jeez. Added some foot pegs in there. Jeez, man. There's a tiny little throttle control in there, and then around the depth charge, I've added some little small details. I'm a big fan of Firefly, the G.I. Joe figure that had all the little like molded stuff in the back. So I was trying to bring that vibe in with this thing as well. It's small, but it's little details that make a big impression. Like, and then you look at the next guy, Dusty Hayes, another great example of cool details. This guy's got all sorts of cool stuff on him as well. We'll jump right into the features. First up, I've upgraded the pivoting rooftop cannon. It's now not an easily lost single part, but it actually has two pieces, and its design theory is different, and it reflects a little bit better in some other parts of the entertainment that some of you might be familiar with. Also upgraded, as I mentioned, clear windshield, but also larger wheels and tires. Not much larger. I put the classic one here, and I'm really trying to walk that tightrope between like just a straight up replica and doing enough like contemporary updates to this thing that it feels right. I'm not going full Prosciutto Cobra with it, but I'm trying to keep it like just enough dialed up that it's going to make a pointed difference. So those of you who are like vintage collectors, you've got your vintage stuff, loyal subject stuff has some marked improvements, but where possible, like the roof cannon and things like that, I'm looking at ways, no promises yet, I'm looking at ways to try to make some of this stuff backwards compatible to some of your collections you have already. As I mentioned, we've got lots of really cool details molded in. We've also got foot pegs on the side, so you can trick out your speedboat like the attack hydroplane like the Devilfish, G.I. Joe. And this is one of the things I'm most excited about. In the 80s, we had this empty spot on the hood of the hydroplane, and that was to hold Dusty's mask. Well, we've also, for the Loyal Subjects version, we're going to be including a vac-metalized boat engine, like an engine block, which is pretty cool, and that'll fit in that spot for those of you that want to try to replicate that look from entertainment. And last look, we've got the electric ouch, which is the rooftop cannon in all of its 80s like phaser looking glory. And then we've got the freeze gun effect in the front as well, that allows you to kind of like put some of Mayhem's crew on ice. Next up, the Armored Assault Vehicle. Some of you might know this is a jackhammer. The AAV, as we're calling it now, comes with a variety. Switch back to that last one for a minute, because there's some really cool stuff on here. You can see from this angle.
Just so everyone knows, I gave John a 10-minute time limit. We're at 12 minutes and we're halfway through. Should I cut him off, or do you guys want to keep going?
Go more.
Yeah, I'm very verbose, so you guys know me. I'm just like, you should read my emails, right, Dina? They're super long. All right, so this guy comes with all sorts of details. We'll jump right through it. In the interest of time, very complicated.
You're here for this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. So you can see on the inside, there's a really complicated mechanism in this for the hood activation. Has a separate button as you push it. There's linkages, there's reciprocating cannons, very complicated. So we took this whole thing apart, we're scanning it, and we're trying to replace, we're replicating exactly to the 80s. But we're adding some marked differences, like a sculpted hood detail in the front, which is cool, some added foot peg details in the back for riders, and then Cliff Dagger's updated as well. And he's got some cool features too. He's got his hands are posed in such a way that he can grip the steering wheel, but also grip the anti-aircraft gun that he comes with, which is really cool. And we'll talk about that in a minute. You'll see I really went ham on the detail with this thing. The original version, for example, had some smoothed out details, and they got burnished. You know, I don't have my version here. Maybe for the next presentation I can bring it up, but I have my sandbox version. It has sand inside, I think, maybe still. I've gone through and updated the details, and you'll see that like there's crisper details on the side. It's a little more closer to that entertainment. The undercarriage is much more realistic and based on 80s four-wheel drive vehicles. Next up, really important upgrade is we sculpted the hood engine detail to replace the stickers so that it is a little bit closer to how it's seen in various forms of entertainment. And we've also added foot pegs in the back. Just like the Hurricane, I have clear and removable customizable headlights that allow you to kind of get that cool 4x4 look. Comes with 5 awesome blast effects, including these heavy anti-aircraft blast effects, the minigun blast, which is, that connects to the top, and then little small ones that connect to the reciprocating cannons that come out of the front. I spoke to Cliff. Cliff's able to actually finally hold his weapon, which he wasn't able to do in the 80s. So it's all these little small kinds of things that allow you to open up your imagination when you play with the figures. And then last but not least, He's got interior design has been a little bit updated and upgraded for a more comfortable ride for Mayhem and the crew when they're going out to get ice cream to Bend. Last but not least, we've got the Stealth Submarine Cycle. This is AKA Piranha. The vintage mechanism for this is super complex, like all of the toys. We're preserving the legendary internal mechanics, and for the next one, including the way the wings pop out with the two paddles on the back that allow the thing to either launch or have the weapons to pop out and the fins to pop out. And then Sly Raft, one of my favorite in the Wave 2 line, is exciting because he actually comes with the rare short mask and the long mask, but his small blast effects are based on the stiletto effect. We got stiletto, and he shoots the things off his chest. Those are actually removable this time around and painted out, and we're going to be able to interchange them on either the short mask or the tall mask. We upgraded the detail on the engine. This is there was hot foil stamping on the classic one. It was very two-dimensional, but we based the new detail on 80s realistic engines for motorcycles. We also painted out the cowl and the headlight details, which is a small thing. This is how it was in the 80s. It was unpainted, but in various forms of entertainment, you saw the cowl painted. So we wanted to make sure to upgrade it with some added paint-ups. And next, wanted to highlight the fact that we have kept all the different paddle controls of being able to push down on the back and launch this thing or have the things pop out. Actually, in this mode, these fins should be out. So I realized that my image on here is incorrect, but they do pop, they will pop out, everything pops out the way it's supposed to.
I'm sure you will all remind us later that we forgot to put the wings out.
Yep. All right, and then another really important upgrade is that Sly can actually fit on the bike and ride the handlebars, which is really, hey, thanks. And there's a lot of back and forth with Julian. Big props to Julian, Magic Wand Studios, who's our sculptor, and we got him to actually hold the steering wheel, which is awesome, or the handlebar. And his other hand is like a fist pump, so he can ride in and fist pump. We got stiletto, shoot stilettos on. But we've also got torpedo blast effects and that smoke effect on the rear tire. But the torpedoes are really dope, and they can actually stay on the cannons while you play with it. So you roll this guy across, and those things they're not going to skid on the floor. So we're going to design them to stay on. And then, as I mentioned, there's a close-up of those stiletto effects that I'm thinking are really cool. These guys, you can pose them like he's punching somebody out or whatever, or riding his bike, or punching somebody while he's riding. And that was it. Ben, I wrapped up. Yeah, hold on. Yeah.
So appreciate you guys hanging with us. I'll get back to John in a second to take you out. But Wave 2 will be on pre-order in the next 2 months or so. So stay tuned to our social channels, to a lot of our retail partners, Big Bad Toy Store, Given Earth, and a lot of other really great partners around the world. So stay tuned. Not going to give you the date right here, but it will be in the next 2 months or so. So psyched for that. And I'll let John take you guys out.
Uh-oh, I feel like there might be a special transmission coming through. Uh-oh, what is this? It is a special mission brief incoming. We have a special reveal.
Oh, nice.
Wow, I don't know what happened to Matt.
He fell in the sun.
All right, so we've got a cool reveal for our New York Toy Fair. This is a hologram edition, which is a brand new kind of look for these guys, but it's inspired by the clones, and it comes with an all-clear matte tracker clone with matching masks, which is kind of dope. So those of you guys who are collecting those rare clone figures out there, it's a lot of fun. But although it made my eyes cross when I was working on this thing, we added a really cool feature. Ben, hit that beautiful beam footage. Well, there it is. guys a little close up. It glows in the dark.
nice.
So if you put this thing under your like iPhone or whatever, this grid that's been printed on the top is printed in glow in the dark ink, and all the plastic on the inside is glow in the dark as well. So this thing really lights up, and it's going to be a real nice showpiece on the shelf. No, yeah. So all this stuff that's on here is all going to glow in the dark, and it looks really, really cool. They're going to include some glow in the dark stickers too. So yeah, we're going to leave that there if you want to come up and take pictures. Oh yeah. Yeah, so Ben has a nice announcement to make here.
Yeah, so this is your first look at one of our Comic-Con exclusives. Some more to come on this as we get closer to the summer, and we'll have some other mask items for Comic-Con as well. So dropping a couple items. So you'll have Wave 2, Comic-Con drops, tons of goodies from us for masks. So that is officially Comic-Con first look, and Wave 2, and I hope you guys have a good time.
I will take it out, everybody. Mask. Yeah, right. Good enough. All right, guys, thanks a lot. I'm gonna be doing the presentation one more time. Then come by and talk to me if you want to, have your burning questions asked. Thank you, everybody.